All right, Monday morning, here we go. Just had a good day, or rather a good session in the gym. Getting ready to start my day. I got about 3 or 4 jobs I got to get done today. Started the morning off terrible. Forgot everything. We're gonna salvage the day though. This episode, I wanted to talk again. I know it was controversial. Excuse me. And I know a lot of people agree with it and a lot of people don't agree with it. But I want to talk again about credit cards. Here soon, I'm going to talk about what my wife and I are going to do as far as building wealth for retirement, investing for retirement, et cetera, et cetera. But I wanted to touch on using a credit card again to pay your expenses. Also, I apologize that I'm in my car. I'm actually at the Iron Pit Gym parking lot right now because we moved the chickens downstairs, but the house is kind of a wreck. And anyways, we're moving. Went to get gas yesterday. I had to go do a job up in Morgantown. Great lady. Great amount of work. Really profitable. Fantastic. Stopped off at Sergeant Pepper's Chicken in Martinsville. If you haven't had Sergeant Pepper's Chicken in Martinsville, you should go. It's fantastic. They are taking phone orders. You can drive along the side of the building where they have a makeshift drive-through that's just a door, and they'll give you the chicken of the gods. Anyways, going in to get gas, and the gas station I normally go to, and I go there a lot, filling up, and I also, it's a Circle K. If you keep your 44-ounce glass, you can get a refill of water for free. Of course, right now with the Corona scare, they're not letting people refill their drinks with their glasses. They're actually asking, they say, if you're getting water, just go get a new cup and get water, and that's fine. So they're trying to stop the spread of coronavirus in the way that they can. So that's appreciated. I think it's appreciated. Anyways, we were talking about gas, and I said, well, the card machine out there didn't work, so that's why I came in. And she goes, well, I don't like using the card machines. She said, because when I do it, no matter what amount of gas I need, they end up taking $50 to $80 out of my account or holding it until the amount gets processed through. And although that sounds odd to me, I have no reason to doubt her experience. I have no reason to think she's a liar. And that that created a moment for me where I said, really what you should do is you should use a credit card to pay for your gas. You should use a credit card to pay for your groceries. You should use a credit card to pay for your light expense. Especially for someone like her who, no disrespect, but the last time I checked, gas station attendants I don't think are earning high dollar amounts. I could be wrong, but I don't think they are. For someone who's living paycheck to paycheck, or the margin of error is very, very thin, it actually makes a lot of sense for you to use a credit card for all of your expenses, because it allows you, again, for all of your money to money up for the month without the stress of needing to have cash in your account to pay the expense when the utility company, when you need gas in your car, whatever, when it demands that you pay it out of your checking account. And on top of that, a lot of these companies apparently are charging your debit card more, or they're running it up $10. I heard years ago, I was, before the wife and I really bought our first house, I went and did the HUD program. I think I'm saying it wrong, but basically you could go and you could learn about how to buy a house, be a homeowner. You got to speak to different business owners in the community, insurance agents, mortgage lenders, et cetera, et cetera. And just to prep you for what home ownership was like and what the process was like. It was pretty interesting. But one of the gals that was teaching the class, said that when you go to a restaurant, a lot of times they'll run the amount for more than what your bill is to cover the tip amount. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. We use a credit card for everything. So if someone steals from Visa, we just call Visa and say, hey, that wasn't us. Send us a new card. Take it off our bill. Appreciate it. So we don't have this problem. Now, that's not to say they don't do it with a credit card, but the difference between using your debit card to pay for your gas, or if you go out to eat, or whatever the case may be, the debit card, again, that is your portal, or actually that's the market's portal to your checking account. Effectively, you're carrying your checking account with you wherever you go when you have your debit card. And yes, there are limits you can put on the amount you can spend. It's typically, I think, about $500 a day, or that you can withdraw, whatever the case may be. There's limits you can put on it that act as somewhat of a hedge against theft. But the truth is, we know the vast majority of people in America don't even have $500 to $1,000 saved. Most people in America, 40%, it's interesting, I looked up, the average household income in America is right around $60,000. I think it's like $62,000. But 40% of that total number, so of the 100% of households that average $60,000 a year, obviously there are people that make a lot more, there are people that make a lot less, but of the 100% that are averaging $60,000 to $62,000 a year, to be safe, let's say it's $65,000 a year, 40% of that total number have a dual income housing situation, which means that the man and the woman, or the man and the man, the woman and the woman, whatever, are both working, which means 40% of all households, the individuals in the house, are making probably closer to $30,000, $32,000 a year. So for individuals like that, coupled with the fact that a lot of people, due to their back being against the wall, they're not good budgeters, no one has ever really talked to them about money, no one ever talked to me about money, all of the stuff that I'm bringing to you is just life experience that me and my wife have gathered over the years. We've been married now 10 years, and I by no means, my brother is a licensed, he's got a Series 6, and I know people like that. They're awesome. If you want advice like that, I would encourage you, go speak to a financial advisor. I'm talking about my experience to you, and if my experience resonates with you, maybe you should try it, and if not, don't. The point is, 40% of all households have a dual income situation, meaning that most people don't have $1,000 in their savings, let alone $500. So most people can't take a hit where if someone liquidates all of your checking account because they hacked your card at a gas station or at a restaurant or whatever the case may be, which has happened, it really puts you in a bind. I think, I don't know if I told this story or not, but if I did, I'll tell it again. I worked with a gal. Now, this is a slightly different situation. She didn't believe in banks. She used a debit card or an EBT or whatever, which is very foolish. You shouldn't do that. But she had $900 on her debit card or EBT, whatever. Went and got gas. The gas station attendant kept her card number, went out and spent the entirety of her money that was on her card all on porn. It was spent it all on porn. However, it happened in such a way where the company and law enforcement were able to jump on it very quickly and basically get this guy off the streets, and he went to jail. I don't think he went to prison. I think he just went to jail. But the point is, she didn't know what had happened. She actually got a call from the sheriff saying, hey, this guy hacked your card. This is what he spent the money on. Here's a police report or a sheriff's report, whatever. I don't know if there's a difference. And, you know, you should be entitled to that money back because it wasn't you, it was stolen, yada, yada, yada. She sent those documents along with a phone conversation to the card holder or the bank or whatever. They said, it's going to take 30 days for us to do an investigation. 30 days. This is with documentation from local law enforcement. Okay, now I understand a lot of things can be fraudulent and a lot of things can be twisted. I get that. But for me, if I'm someone who has a debit card or an EBT card and my shit gets stolen and I have proof from law enforcement that it was stolen from me and it was not me that made the $900 in purchases on porn, etc., I would think, hey, this is documentation. I need my money back. I need it in the next 15 minutes. That to me makes sense. No, it took 30 days for her to get her money back. During that time, she literally had no money to pay her light expense, water, groceries, gas. She had to borrow, beg, and steal to get money just to live because somebody stole from her. Somebody stole from an access point that in truth is all too fragile and all too easy to steal from. This is even more so than your money's working harder for you with a credit card, the stress is lower. This is, to me, the greatest reason to use a credit card. If you have a choice, listen to me what I'm saying here real quick, because this is super important. Worst case scenario, if you have a choice between your money being stolen, let's use me as an example. If I have a choice between the money out of my checking account being stolen and I got to wait 30 days, let's say it's 15 days, but I got to wait 15 to 30 days to get that money put back into my account. If I have a choice between that or Visa's money getting stolen, and I can call in 15 minutes and say, hey, my card was stolen, my card got hacked, these aren't my transactions, I need you to send me a new card and take it off my bill. Appreciate it. If I have a choice between those two outcomes, which one do you think I'm going to choose? Which one should you choose? If you have to choose between somebody's money getting stolen, yours or Visa's, are you really going to be dumb enough to say, steal my money? Yeah, credit cards are the devil. No. If you are, turn the video off. Don't ever watch my page again. If you're dumb enough to say my money should be stolen, it should be my neck on the chopping block every time I go get gas, every time I go out to eat. If you're dumb enough to do that, God help you. Because the obvious choice, the obvious solution is, of course, Visa. We don't want... There's a business owner that I met years ago when I was a banker at Fifth Third down in Vincennes, ran into this problem. He was up here for his kids' like mother-daughter night, whatever, I don't know. They were up here for a weekend doing something. And his card got hacked. His credit card got hacked. And he said, this is exactly why I use it. He said, I just made a call, let them know that those charges weren't me. He came into the bank to speak to us as well. Put in an order for a new card. He said, this is exactly why I use it. And I said, well, that makes a lot of sense to me. To which he said, absolutely. I mean, and he's a business owner too. He puts all of his expenses for his business on a credit card. Of course, they use points. The money works harder for him, yada, yada, yada. That's a high level person, okay? Vastly more wealthy than I am, vastly more successful than I am. Probably vastly more successful than anyone who's watching this. And this is what he's doing to protect his money. Why would we, as individuals who are probably earning far less month to month, not take the same precaution? Especially when we hear about this every single day. We hear every day about, yep, a gas station attendant liquidated someone's account again. Oh, they went out and bought porn. Oh, some cook or some waitress got the debit card numbers, kept it, went on a shopping spree, got them. This happens all of the time. And the solution is quite simple. Don't spend your money. Spend someone else's money at 0% for 30 days and then pay it off before the month's over. It's literally that simple. In the words of the great Ken Nunn, it's just that easy. I mean, guys, it's just that easy. It doesn't make sense. I mean, here are people who are literally starving to eat. They're working these dead-end jobs. They don't have a vision for their life, or they're developing one, and they're every day gambling on whether or not someone's going to nuke their account, liquidate it of all its funds, to which they'll have to wait for 30 days before they even get their own money back, which was stolen from them, because the bank is not interested in giving money out for free. They want the money so that they can then loan it out at vast amounts of interest rate, all the while paying you 0.00, not a goddamn thing. This is all easy to figure out. All we have to do is start thinking about what's in our best interest. And when you think about what's in my best interest, and my children and my wife's, and if you're a woman and you're watching this and you're married, your husband's and your children, you will start to think more tactically and in a manner of, you know what, maybe I need to manipulate the system here or there. Maybe I need to do this. Maybe I need to be a little more devious, or a little more maniacal in how I handle my money. Why do I want anyone and everyone to just be open to my money? Why would I do that? And that's because the wealthy don't. This is something that I want to get across to you guys. You don't have to be rich to make your money work hard for you. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to own businesses. You can be someone that's working at a dead-end job, paying your expenses with a credit card, paying it off every month, and your money's working harder for you. Fact. Done. End of discussion. And I'll take it one step further. Let's say you're working at a dead-end job. I've heard this. I have a friend of mine that dealt with this. Of course, now they're doing much better. They both progressed in life. It's fantastic. But let's say you're working at a dead-end job. You're making pennies on the dollar. It's terrible. Let's say your car blows up. Okay? You don't have the money to fix it. Car don't get fixed. Now you have a hard time getting to work. Let's say you don't get to work for 2 days. Well, then you get fired. Or you get laid off, or they cut your hours. Worst case scenario, you get fired. Best case scenario, they say, hey, if I can't count on you, I just got to cut your hours. Right? Well, now, your situation where your car, which is literally the actual mechanism by which you get to work and pay your bills, expenses, is now gone. You don't have the money to fix it. Now you don't have a job, or now your hours are cut. So now you're making even less money or no money. So consider that situation. Or the other situation. You're working a dead-end job, which unfortunately a lot of people are. You're using a credit card, though, to pay your expenses. The amount on the credit card is high enough to where you can not only pay your expenses, but if you take a hit, like you got to do a repair on your car, whatever the case may be, there's enough of a credit line on it to where you can do that. Okay? Consider this. Car blows up. Take it to the shop that day. They say it's $1,000. Hey, no problem. I got it. Paying with a credit card. I'll pay it off later. Your car gets out 2 days later. Nothing's changed except now, nothing's changed except now you do have a balance that you're going to have to pay that unfortunately you are probably paying between 25 and 30% interest on that balance. But which is better? Which is better? Paying 25 to 30% on a balance, 25 to 30% on $1,000 balance on your card and still being able to get to work, or you don't have a car and you can't get to work? Which is better? And I'll answer it for you. It's simple. It's paying the 25, 30% to get your ass to work. Done. It frustrates me to no end. We have been shanghaied. God, I'm going on a rant. This was not what I meant to do. We have been shanghaied into being told to think like sheep, while the wealthy, the wolves, as I like to call them, and I myself am a wolf. I'm developing it. I'm trying to anyways. The wolves are thinking totally different. They're doing nothing that they're telling us to do. They don't behave like us at all. That's exactly why they're wealthy. They're not here living paycheck to paycheck. Now, the truth is, some high earners are living paycheck to paycheck, but it isn't because they're not thinking about their money as far as how it can work harder for me. They're thinking about it typically from the standpoint they're connected, they have a good degree, maybe they're a great salesperson, whatever, and they just haven't matured enough to where they're not willing to stall, if you will, or stop entirely the immediate gratification, right? They're too busy wanting their money to get something for them immediately, as opposed to saying, you know what, why don't I hold off on this purchase and I'll wait until I got a little more money back, or until I got a little more debt paid off, and then I'll buy it. So they're still thinking about their money from the standpoint of being a high earner. They want to make their money work harder for them, but they haven't gotten over that hump yet of, well, I want to buy it, so I'm going to buy it. Even if they should, or even if they shouldn't, or if they don't have enough debt paid off, I'm going to buy it anyways, I'll pay the debt off later. Or, what a lot of people are thinking now, because the market's so low, well, fuck my debt. I'm going to put all my, I'm going to put all my money into the stock market, because I know the stock market's going to come back, and I'm going to make so much money, I'll not only pay off my debt, I'll also be able to retire. Yeah. Nope. Not true. The vast majority, there was a great episode that Jon Stewart did. Not Jon Stewart. British guy on HBO. Can't think of his last name. He did a whole episode on how a lot of these Wall Street guys, a lot of these stockbrokers and investors, a lot of their money, the vast majority of their money is in very conservative index funds for the purpose of having $1 million to $2 million when they are retired, for the purpose of generating income. The professionals that are selling us, now's the time to buy Disney, $85. It's going to go back up, and it will. It will. The market, this is actually an organic downturn that we've needed for a while, thank God. But the notion of come to me, give me your money, when these guys aren't even doing that, These guys aren't even, most of them are paying, the smart ones are paying their debt off, and they're investing in conservative funds that over 20 years are going to generate around $1 million to $1.5 million, maybe $2 million, that they will then either put in a vehicle or contract like an annuity or some type of bond, whatever, that will continue to pay them lifelong income, probably between $50,000 to $100,000 a year. They're going to be debt free. They'll probably downsize, because that's what the wealthy do. That's what the wolves do. Okay. And I got off track a little bit, and I apologize, but you don't have to be rich to make your money work hard for you. In fact, the second you start making your money work harder for you, which is very simply using a credit card, you literally take the steps towards being the wealthy or the wolves. You start taking giant steps, because it's all up here. It's all up here. I encourage you, stop thinking like a sheep. Stop it. It's foolish. I know people that have $60,000, $70,000 in their savings account and they aren't debt free. It's utterly foolish. Stop it. Stop it. You're a slave. You're a willing participant in the rat race of stupidity. Stop. Get off the track. Say, you guys can do that. I'm going to go over here. There's a great story. Sean Combs. Puffy. For some of you that are watching this that are younger, maybe you don't know who he is. He's not necessarily that I know of in the limelight anymore, but he had a great story. He actually got to start being a dancer in hip-hop videos. Well, there's a music video they were doing where he was a dancer, and he kept noticing the guy behind the camera that was telling everyone what to do. The guy behind, go here, this is what I need you to do, this is how we're going to behave, yada, yada. And he said, well, who's that guy? What's going on? Well, then he found out that was the producer and the record exec that was in charge. And in that white hot moment, and this is one of the reasons why Sean Combs is so successful, but in that white hot moment, he said, I don't want to be a dancer. I want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that's in charge. I want to be the guy that's telling the dancers where to go, because that's the guy that's making the money. Now, what's interesting about that, what got him in the room was his ability to dance and his love of hip-hop and his knowledge of the culture. But the white hot moment, I'm going to snap again, boom. The white hot moment where he realized, oh no, me being a dancer, this is lowbrow. This is entry-level work. I can be the executive. That was the moment where he literally changed his lifestyle. Well, not lifestyle, he did change his lifestyle, but changed the course of his life forever. He stopped thinking like a sheep and started thinking like a wolf. He started thinking like a Northman. Shameless plug. Guys, I'm telling you, if you've never done it, try it for 1 month, maybe 2. Put all of your expenses on a credit card. Pay it off at the end of the month. If you can. If for some reason you can't, pay that balance off as fast as possible. Your money's going to work harder for you. You're going to be less stressed. Everything's going to be better, I promise. Now, caveat, big word, kind of big word, not really a big word, but it just sounds cool. Do not use a credit card or any type of credit tool to purchase things that are immediate wants. That's foolish. You are literally putting the rope around your neck multiple times, and you better hope to God that it just snaps instead of strangling you slowly, because most of the time it just strangles you slowly. Do not do that. Don't go out to dinner on it all the time. Don't go to the movies. Don't buy your favorite gear. Don't buy guns, guitars, cars, whatever. Don't do that. That's foolish. If you've built it into the budget and you have the liquid cash to pay that balance off, yes, by all means, put it on the card, then pay it off. You're going to get the credits and you're going to get the credit and the points. That's a better way to function. But the point is this: do not use a credit card for your wants. Use it only for your needs. Light expense, water expense, groceries, gas for your car, cell phone, internet, whatever. The things you have to pay to live. Use a credit card on those items if you can. I'd encourage you to with this. No, to my knowledge, it could have changed. No utility company takes American Express. Their fees are too high. To my knowledge, the only ones they take are Visa and maybe, I don't know if it's Discover or MasterCard. I know one of those, a lot of utility companies won't. I think it's because maybe they don't like the fee that Discover or MasterCard charges, or they don't like how they process their payments. I'm not really sure. Visa's probably the easiest way to go. But the point is, don't use a card for your wants. Use it only for your needs, and then pay it off every single month if you can. we have to start thinking better about our money. We have to stop waiting for permission. Well, only the rich can use a credit card to make their money work harder for them. Oh my God, they're millionaires. No. That's like saying, well, only a fit person can go to the gym. I'm out of shape. I love Crescent Donut. I can't go to the gym. I'm not fit. I'm leaving. Okay, don't go. You're failing. It all starts up here. Stop thinking like a poor person. You are not poor. The blood of kings and queens is in your veins. Think like them. Here endeth the lesson.